How to respond when a question makes you feel defensive. Feeling defensive is normal. The real skill is learning how to pause before you speak, so you respond like a thoughtful person, instead of sounding angry, threatened, or out of control. Imagine your brain is a smoke alarm. Imagine a smoke alarm in your kitchen. Its job is to warn you about danger. The problem is that it is not very clever. Burn a piece of toast? The alarm screams. Accidentally create a little smoke while cooking? The alarm screams. Actual house fire? The alarm screams. It reacts to all three situations, even though only one is a real emergency. Your brain can behave in a surprisingly similar way. Someone asks, "Why did you do it that way?" Your brain sometimes hears, "What is wrong with you?" Someone asks, "Can you explain what happened?" Your brain hears, "Who should we blame?" Someone asks, "Are you sure about that?" Your brain hears, "You are incompetent." The question may not be the problem. The interpretation often is. This is why two people can hear the exact same question and react completely differently. One person answers calmly. Another person suddenly starts defending themselves like they are in a courtroom drama. No judge, no jury, just Sandra from accounts asking about the spreadsheet. Why questions can make us feel defensive. Defensiveness usually appears when a question touches something we care about. It may touch our reputation. It may touch our confidence. It may touch our fear of looking stupid. It may touch an old insecurity that has been sitting quietly in the corner, waiting for its dramatic entrance. When that happens, the body reacts quickly. Your heart beats faster. Your voice becomes sharper. Your face feels hot. You interrupt more easily. You start explaining too much. You prepare your defense before you understand the question. This is not because you are a bad person. It is because your brain is trying to protect you. The trouble is that your brain may be protecting you from toast smoke, not a house fire. The hidden damage of answering too quickly. Many people think replying quickly makes them look strong. Sometimes it does. But when you feel defensive, speed can be dangerous. A fast defensive reply can make you sound angry, insecure, unprepared, guilty, immature, or unable to handle pressure. Even if your answer is correct, your delivery may damage how people see you. This is the unfair part of communication. People do not only judge what you say, they judge how safe they feel while you are saying it. The small pause that changes everything. When a question makes you defensive, pause before answering. Not for 1 hour, not until the other person grows old and retires. Just pause for a few seconds. That pause gives your thinking brain time to arrive at the meeting. Without the pause, your emotion speaks first. With the pause, you get a choice. Ask yourself, am I responding to what they actually asked, or am I responding to what I fear they meant? That one question can save many conversations. What to say when you need time to think. You do not have to stand there silently like your brain has left the building. You can buy yourself time with calm, professional phrases. Try these. That is a good question. Let me think about it for a moment. I want to answer that properly, so give me a second. Let me make sure I understand what you are asking. Can you clarify which part you are most concerned about? I can explain my thinking. Let me start with the reason behind the decision. I hear the concern. Let me walk through what happened. These sentences make you look thoughtful, not weak. They tell the other person I am not avoiding the question. I am choosing not to panic answer it. What not to say when you feel defensive. Some phrases pour petrol on the conversation. Avoid replies like, "Why are you attacking me? That is not my fault. You always do this. You clearly do not understand. That is a stupid question. I already explained this." Even if you are partly right, these replies usually make the other person more defensive too. Then both people become smoke alarms. Loud, dramatic, and not very useful. A simple framework. Pause, check, clarify, answer. When you feel defensive, use this simple structure. 1. Pause. Take 1 breath before speaking. This creates space between the feeling and the response. 2. Check. Ask yourself, what exactly did they ask? Not what dramatic meaning has my brain added to this. 3. Clarify. If the question feels unclear, ask for more detail. Ask for more detail. Can you clarify what part you want me to explain? 4. Answer. Respond to the actual question, not the imaginary accusation. Keep it clear, keep it specific, keep it calm. Example, when someone questions your decision. Question, why did you choose this approach? Defensive answer, because it made sense. I don't know why everyone keeps questioning me. Better answer. Good question. I chose this approach because it solved the main issue quickly, reduced the risk of delay, and gave us something we could improve later if needed. The second answer sounds calmer, clearer, and more credible. Same person, same decision, better delivery. Example, when someone sounds critical. Question, why was this not finished earlier? Defensive answer, well, I had a lot to do and nobody helped me, and it's not like I was just sitting around doing nothing. Better answer, the delay came from two things, the extra approval step and the missing information from the client. I should have flagged the risk earlier. Next time, I will raise that sooner. This answer does three useful things. It explains what happened. It takes responsibility where appropriate. It shows what will improve next time. That is how you protect credibility without sounding defensive. Example, when you feel embarrassed. Sometimes defensiveness is just embarrassment wearing a helmet. Someone asks a question and you suddenly feel exposed. In that moment, try this. I can see why you are asking. Let me explain what happened. Or, that is fair to question. Here is the context. These replies are powerful because they do not fight the question. They accept that the question has a reason. You can still explain yourself. You just do it without turning the conversation into a wrestling match. What if the other person really is being rude? Sometimes the problem is not your interpretation. Sometimes the person really is being rude. Even then, yelling usually gives them the result they wanted. It makes you look unstable and makes them look calm by comparison. Very annoying, but useful to know. If someone asks in a rude or aggressive way, respond with a boundary. Use these phrases. I am happy to answer, but I would like us to keep this respectful. I can discuss the issue, but not if the conversation becomes personal. Let us focus on what happened and what needs to be fixed. I want to answer constructively, not react emotionally. Can we slow this down and discuss the specific concern? Calm does not mean passive. Calm means you are driving the car instead of letting your anger grab the steering wheel. Why calm answers make you look more intelligent? People often confuse confidence with loudness, but in difficult conversations, calmness usually carries more authority. A calm answer suggests, you can handle pressure. You are not afraid of questions. You can think before speaking. You are safe to talk to. You do not need to attack people to defend your point. This matters at work, in friendships, in relationships, and in any conversation where trust matters. People may forget the exact words you used. They often remember whether they felt attacked, dismissed, or respected. The best response is not always the fastest response. Fast replies feel powerful in the moment, but thoughtful replies usually age better. The next time a question makes you feel defensive, try this. Pause. Breathe. Check what was actually asked. Ask for clarification if needed. Answer calmly and specifically. You do not need to pretend you feel nothing. You only need to stop the feeling from choosing your words for you. Quick scripts you can use. When you feel accused. I may be reading the question more strongly than you intended. Can you clarify what concern you want me to address? When you need time, let me think for a second so I can answer properly. When you disagree, I see it differently. Let me explain my reasoning. When you made a mistake, you are right to ask about that. Here's what happened, and here's what I will do next. When the tone is rude, I am willing to talk about the issue, but I want us to keep the conversation respectful. When you feel too emotional to answer well, I want to respond thoughtfully, not react defensively. Give me a moment to think. Frequently asked questions and myths. Question: is feeling defensive always a bad sign? No. Feeling defensive is a normal human reaction when a question touches reputation, confidence, embarrassment, or fear of blame. The problem is not the feeling. The problem is letting the feeling choose your words before you understand the question. Question: what should I do first when a question makes me defensive? Pause before answering. Take one breath, check what was actually asked, and separate the question from the meaning your brain may have added. A few seconds can stop a defensive reaction from becoming a bigger conversation problem. Question: does pausing before answering make me look unsure? Not usually. A calm pause often makes you look more thoughtful and controlled. You can say, let me think about that for a moment, so the other person knows you are preparing a clear answer rather than avoiding the question. Question: what if the other person really is attacking me? You can still answer with a boundary instead of a defensive attack. Say that you are willing to discuss the issue, but you want the conversation to stay respectful. Calm boundaries protect your credibility better than matching a rude tone. Question. Myth. Quick answers always sound more confident. Quick answers can sound confident when you are calm and prepared. But when you feel defensive, speed can make you sound angry, insecure, or reactive. A slower answer often sounds more intelligent because it shows control under pressure. Final thought. Feeling defensive does not make you weak. It makes you human. But reacting defensively can make a small question become a large problem. A question is often just a question. Before you treat it like an attack, pause and check. The person who answers immediately may win the argument for 5 minutes. The person who pauses, thinks, and responds clearly often wins something better.